up to see Jenny and surprise her with her $5,000 prize. Jenny, congratulations. You're a Bunnings home ground hero.
Pretty honoured and humbled to be a Bunnings home ground hero.
It's overwhelming actually, it's humbling. It's a nice reminder about why I do this.
But yeah, just the whole sense of gratitude, man, and thankful to Bunnings and TNZ.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
You found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather.
Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.
E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā mātā waka ko tahuti mai nei ki wainga nui a tātou nau mai rā, whakatau mai rā ki ngā whakataetai pāhutu paoro. Mo ngā kura tuarua, rua mano, rua te kaumā, rua ka kite mai koutou kua tai atu tātou ki te wāhanga o ngā tāne. I tēnei wā, ko ngā kapai pakangana ki a rau anō, ko John McGlashan. No roto mai te takiwa o tākau. E hare atu ana ki ngā tamatāne o Manukura, ko tahuti mai I Manawa 2. Noho mai ana ki takutaha he tokorua. Nui nei ngā mōhiotanga, he whakaaro nui ki roto I tēnei mea, a tēnei kēmu te pāhutu paoro. Mike Kavanagh raua ko Maya Williams. Boys, our game so far, we've had some really good touch being played today, and we're lucky for us, we've had some good weather.
Yeah, the weather has actually just lined up perfectly in time for this game. I just want to make a comment about the man you see on screen now, Greg Taylor. He's actually royalty in Australia. He was in the Air Force flying helicopters. He's been a referee for longer than I have, I think. A superstar over in Australia, and now you'll find him at any tournament that's happening around the world. I think he just does it to get around. But Greg Taylor from Australia joins the New Zealand refereeing contingent to come over and help us out. He has done once before. He's a very, very good ref, but an even better man. So it's great to see him over here, and we can have that Australian flavour in our reffing.
Yeah, I think he ended up reffing one of our later games yesterday, and it was so smooth. It was extraordinary the way he made his way up and down the field. I actually asked the question, why was he wearing a different top? I thought he may have been a newbie when it comes to touch it. No, mate, it's the total opposite.
It really does surprise me that he isn't wearing our gear. I know in the past that we've had refs come from other countries and be involved, and that's definitely what we would do. I mean, it just makes it easier for the players to get used to that picture in the side of their eyes. So I'm not sure. I have to find that out.
Obviously, from a player perspective, we have that rivalry with the Australians, but seeing the Australian ref come over to referee here, is there a level of camaraderie amongst the referee groups internationally?
Yeah, the camaraderie is fantastic when we're not at international tournaments, and actually, to say that when we are at international tournaments, it is too. There's just that obvious competition where we're trying to get the best game that we can, the highest ranking we can.
Oh yeah, no, we have here John McGlashan starting off with ball in hand. I think you were saying this is, was it Andrew Hawes old school?
Yeah, I know that there is a famous All Black that comes out of John McGlashan. I was trying to rattle my brains off a bit of a Spates question that there is on the bottle cap, but I can't really recall if it is that, but that is my assumption off the top of my head. Is we see John McGlashan there just off a 33 peel, centralising it to the middle of the field, understanding that they're going back into the saving side, and we see a nice right to left go right over the top there to the winger who scores in the corner to take the lead 1-0. Only a minute into this boys fixture.
What a start. Wham bam, thank you man. Jack Timu in with the first one.
Yep, and I like to see it as soon as the weather finds up, these boys just start throwing this ball around. Probably something that teams this morning weren't able to do just because of how much rain was coming down. We see Manukura now on the attack. They're going to go for a 32 pick as well.
Oh, those are awkward pitches when you're a referee seeing that. Where the ball, you're thinking to yourself, yep, this is going to be a ball to ground, I'm running through, and then next minute the non-offending team nearly scores the try and you have to double check yourself.
Nah, probably unnecessary that last take. Probably would have preferred the repeat set. I think McGlashan, lucky to get away with that bit of a bobble in the ruck. They'll continue on here. They're making some good yards up the field. I think they'll be setting for their 5 here. About 10 metres out, they've got a scooper. He's going to scoop all the way into that link chopper hole. Manukura do just enough.
Both of these teams evenly placed on the scoreboard. This is their 3rd game, and the results so far, they've had 1 win, 1 loss each, and this will decide who will go through to tomorrow. So a huge game here between the 2 teams.
Important game for both teams. I like the awareness. I mean, that's something Kevin was talking about this morning, just about how you need to be aware as that dummy half and the runner coming onto the ball. You can't just be throwing that ball willy-nilly to the player that's coming through, especially if they're going to be 1 step ahead. But McGlashan here now on the attack. Very good yardies coming up this field. I think that's a common theme we've seen throughout all these South Island teams. They're all fit and they all know how to go forward. Maybe lucky there not to get done for big square. Hoya no.
Good communication structure there from John McGlashan, looking to isolate back to this right side with a good right to left over the top. Looks like the ball might have travelled forward there though, or did the wind carry it? No. No, it has travelled forward. Good call there by the referees. Manukura looking to get out of trouble. Trying to ruck down their sideline there, trying to get to the subbing box to get some fresh legs on to get into their green zone.
Ai, te taihunga tuahatanga pai kua ki te tātou. Ko te nui o ngā kura Māori, kua whakauru atu he tīma ki roto I ngā wāhanga katoa o roto I tēnei whakataitai. Manukura, they have a men's, he kapa wāhine, he kapa hanumia no hoki, no reira pai anō te kite atu. But here with that mistake there, this gives McGlashan the opportunity to attack from out of their 7. Making some good yards at the moment. Manu could have been quite passive, well, maybe not passive, but not taking that 1 step forward to shut down the amount of yards that John McGlashan are getting. And as you can see, they're already down to the 7. Just unable to turn it into points, but you don't need to score points off those. You can just keep doing your job, keep sort of chopping down that tree trunk, and it'll eventually fall.
The speed of them at John McGlashan boys is just incredible. They just pick the ball up and gone, and the defenders, I think they're going to very quickly learn that they need to be on their game, because 1 minute they're in front of them, the next minute they're beside them, going past them.
Especially seeing how well these John McGlashan boys can throw a ball, defensively you've got to be on, and your wingers, you need to be able to read. There's something happening here with our refs.
But he said it was a no touch, but was the touch?
Someone's talking about a no touch. Oh, they're talking to the ref at the moment, or to the coach.
This is surprising. It doesn't tend to normally happen. Any messages that the that the coaches may want to pass them on, whether they should or shouldn't be passing them on, generally goes through that sideline referee. So unsure what took place there.
I've never seen that before, to be honest. Norma is playing. Them stopping the game to talk to the coach. Must have been important though.
And hopefully that's the last representation we'll see of that in this game. Only being 5 minutes in, you know, let's clear up all of those niggly areas now, and let's just make sure that we get a good display of touch footy there for the rest of this game. As we see John McGlashan here, just probing the 7 metre line, trying to find a gap in this Manukura defence. As we see the 32 peel, Link lifted into the lane, knocks the ball down, gives John McGlashan another set of 6.
I think you'd understand why tensions are running so high though. Like Maya just said, it's pretty much winner of this game goes through to the top side final. So both teams will be right on edge, especially the coaches.
Yeah, it's those pressure situations, and as much as the players, like, they play with pride and all of that, the coaches also have a level of pride that they want to take into this game as well. So there's a lot of passion within both the managerial roles and the playing capacities. As we see John McGlashan there, they cross for their second touchdown, just finding their way into the in goal. Nice patience by the dummy half, who's able to loop that over the top.
Yeah, a little bit of individual magic there by Charlie Breen, I think it is. Nothing was really on. Picked up, went short side, throwing it into the space, anticipating where his supporting player would be, and great support there by his winger for an awesome try.
Yeah, I think defensively, Manukura probably could have done a bit more there. It looked as if he held up and he was looking for the intercept and stopped worrying about touching the dummy half there, just giving him more time to have ball on hand.
Yeah, and we've talked about it throughout the day, the art of mirroring, and we probably just seen there that the defence weren't able to mirror as well as that they could have to make sure that try was negated. As we see Manukura just bump into the back of their own player there, knocking the ball on. It was a good opportunity to create something there on the back end of that set as John McGlashan now into their own zone as they're rucking it out of their half.
Yeah, we see McGlashan here again just following that same pattern where all they're trying to do is go forward, get as far as they can up the field, and just setting up for a look at the end there, whether it's a scooper or it's a 32 long. They know what they need to do to get down to the other side of the field, probably something Manukura have been struggling with, but I think it's just coming down to, those little mistakes, fundamentals.
Yeah, as we see Manukura here just trying to get across the halfway. They're already at their third touch, so they'll be looking for something off the back end of this. They want to probably centralise their attack. As it gets to 5, looking for something off the back end, a bit of a boogie there. And they've come up with it. Nope. The referees just deemed that it was a touch and pass, so John McGlashan will get the tap.
Good call there from the ref. Yeah, John McGlashan being the dominant team in the first quarter of this game. Unfortunately, Manukura really haven't had the opportunity on the attacking scoreline or red zone. Probably need to be a little bit more aggressive with their yards, Kev, would you say? Maybe being conservative, controlling it. I know the weather has just picked up again and it started to rain. Probably a lot more heavier than it has at any other stage of the day. So, again, it might be accuracy over pace, and I can understand that from Manukura, but really need to get down, and this is a perfect opportunity to get a set in the attacking half to see what they can do.
And I think when we were talking about it earlier, not too sure which way the wind's running, but it seems that the teams that are running left to right seem a little bit more slower coming off their line. So maybe they're the ones that are running into the headwind. So it'll be interesting to see what happens within the second half to see if they can change their leg speed around.
Yeah, nice little 32 peel play. He's looking for his outside man, unable to convert it into points. Maybe just a bit bunched at the moment. Attacking-wise, Manukura not testing out any of those other spots of the McGlashan defensive line. They tend to stick to those middles.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something that Gary Riley, their coach, will be able to address at half-time. Being a good attacking player himself, he'll be able to pick on a few points that he's seen throughout the John McGlashan's defence, and hopefully we'll see Manukura with a few more opportunities on attack within the second half.
Yeah, you can't take away anything from this McGlashan side, and it comes off the head. We have a Falcon. Oh, they can't turn it into points, though.
It was another one of those moments, yeah. You're thinking the ball's going to ground, and then it just gets back into the attacking team's hand, and you're 5 metres away from where you should be as a ref. Good defence, actually. I thought there was going to be a try again from nothing against Manukura. Much better yards here. Second touch over the 10-metre line.
Yeah, it's that transition, though, for Manukura. Their players aren't getting on quick enough. What they might need to do is just take a good couple forward. And here we got some pace shown by this Manukura side.
Yeah, I think they're just going a little bit too lateral coming off their line. If they ended up being a little bit more direct, I think they'd get a greater opportunity, maybe about 10 metres out from their line rather than the 20 metre where they're having to go for that long range scoop.
Yeah, I think you're on the button there. And like you said, no doubt these will be the sorts of messages they'll be getting at halftime. McGlashan again just doing their job, setting up for that 32. They know they have numbers here. Oh, and the try was begging. But again, that weather, it's so inconsistent. 1 5-minute block it's raining, 1 5-minute block it's not. You never know how much that can affect ball in hand.
Yeah, bit of fatigue coming through the legs now, I think, from both sides, as we see a little bit more effort in the arms as both teams are trying to work really hard into this half. As Manukura still trying to get on the board here as we look for another long-range scoop. Number 10, he's trying to create something. Good closing defence there from John McGlashan. Identified that there was an opportunity to sting that and was able to get up and nullify the opportunity.
Yeah, McGlashan, I feel like just defensively, they're putting in some definitive effort, and it's stopping any of this go forward from this Manukura side, that by the time they get into the opposition's half and they're setting up for that scoop, they have no players there in support, so they have minimal options, and that's not coming down to Manukura, that's coming down to how good John McGlashan defence is.
And I think we talked about it earlier with that Otago boys side, like being from down those ways as well in southern Otago there, or Central Otago. It's just a really reflection of how well the program's going for touch footy down there. I also think their rugby program was fortunate enough to be able to make the top fours for the first time within the calendar year as well.
Yeah, beautiful work being done by Touch Otago at the moment, and they're starting at the right age group, they're getting them young, and it's showing all across the board here at Nationals. All these Otago teams, they've come out to play this year. It's good to see. Manukura though, with the early mistake in their set, give the ball away right on halfway.
Yeah, they're definitely putting their point defenders forward, the Manukura team. It's just probably their helping outside connections that are probably just letting them down a little bit here, as we see a great set of hands there by the number 8 from John McGlashan. He did well to pick that up off the bootlaces as they get into their 5th and final, trying to find something at the back end, but equal to the task as Manukura, as they mirror up well and were able to defend that last set.
I tend to find the new ruling with regards to bringing the mark for the penalty 10 metres forward when there's been an infringement post the penalty being given is catching quite a lot of teams out. They don't realise that they can bring it forward, so I think it's something that hasn't probably quite sunk in from the changes of the rules. But
is that any penalty?
Something to do with pre-touch, pre the roll ball and post the roll ball, whether it is brought forward or not.
I see. And here we have Manukura, probably with their best attacking set they've had thus far in this half, and it all come because they had a good roll-on from their ruck, and they had a lot of players there in support.
And this is where we've talked about momentum. John McGlashan's had most of the momentum the whole first half, as we see Manukura just probing down that right-hand side, looking for that opportunity, but John McGlashan, their defence just isn't breaking yet. But if Manukura can get one here, they've got all the momentum leading into the half with only a minute to go. Players identified as offside. Another penalty, that's 2. One more and we'll see one to the side.
Yeah, it's something Manukura need to be aware of though, is there's only about a minute left in this game. Just looking for a nice little quickie, but those John McGlashan players super tight in that mid. Oh, I thought he was about to give it to them. He got excited there.
Sweeper coming around the back. Tries to square up the defender. Good lift from the link there, helping out his middle, giving him every opportunity to get back. Right to left. What's the referee going to say on this one? Oh, it's awarded. It is
really
awarded.
Smart from the Manukura middle there. They'd obviously been attacking the quickies, bringing the defence in, bringing that winger in, second touch, bringing that winger in, fourth touch, and then obviously knowing that winger was going to be well in, thinking that they were going to go short again, through the long ball, out to number 11 on the wing there for Manukura. It looked like he grabbed at his hamstring there.
Yeah, I hope he's all right there leading into the half, but probably came at the right time. And like I said, that momentum going into half, this could give Manukura all the confidence as we see John McGlashan just finishing off the first half.
Yeah, and that right there, good read by Manukura at the end there, just to wrap up that half. Hoia no, koia rā te o tingātu o tēnei hawe, e ruanga piro kei te kapa o John McGlashan I tēnei wā. A koia ki te kapa o Manukura no roto mai a mano atu. Kaue haere tawhiti e te whānau, a koa ki nei hoki mai ai tātou me te hawe tuarua o tēnei kēmu. Whaimuri atu I tēnā, ko te kēmu whakamutunga o te rangi.
We're going up to see Jenny and surprise her with her $5,000 prize. Jenny, congratulations. You're a Bunnings home ground hero.
Pretty honoured and humbled to be a Bunnings home ground hero.
It's overwhelming actually, it's humbling. It's a nice reminder about why I do this.
But yeah, just the whole sense of gratitude, man, and thankful to Bunnings and TNZ.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't about long-distance calling, technology, or living overseas.
Do I have one more bid? Thank you.
We're going to go once. We're going twice.
And we are sold to the Kiwi phone bidder from Manchester.
It's about Bayleys finding buyers that others can't.
Nau mai hoki mai ki raro I ngā manga o ngō taha maunga. E kite ana ko kā puapua katoa te rangi. Ngari hanga ua ana mo ngā kaitākuru I tēnei rangi. Ngari kite ana tātou ko te kapa kei mua I tēnei wā ko te kapa e putāna te ihu. I Wanganui a Manukura rao ko McGlashan. Ko John McGlashan tērā no roto mai ia o te poti ko rātau e maua nei ngā kara kikorangi. Whero me te kōwhai. Ko Manukura kei rō whero. He tino hawhe kai te haere I tēnei wā, because it's a close match at the moment. Could be anybody's game, but who's looking like their noses are ahead?
Oh, well, if we go off the reflection of the first maybe 10 minutes, you'd think that John McGlashan were almost going to run away with this, but kind of as the weather conditions have changed again throughout this game, we've seen Manukura just kind of claw their way back. So at the moment, I think it's going to be who possibly scores the first try. This first 5 minutes could be very interesting.
Yeah, and you spoke about it, Mai, in that first half. This Manukura team, they like to bunch up in the middle here. Oh, they like to bunch up in the middle there and then throw long, but that time John McGlashan didn't have to work too hard to defend that.
No, and this is the big difference area right here. Yards off their line, that transition from D to attack. That's the third touch there for John McGlashan, whereas often Manukura are playing their fourth at about the same position. So John McGlashan has started the second half the way they started the first. See if they can finish here. Ooh, just unlucky. I must say, you took Cav the first 10 minutes, John McGlashan looked like they're going to run away from it, and then it changed. And it was absolutely to do with the weather. When it was good weather, McGlashan looked like they were on top easily, and then when it started to rain, that sort of almost helped, or seemed to help Manukura. And as I look outside now, it's gone back to being really sunny, so maybe McGlashan will start to become dominant again.
Yeah, just those kind of fundamental areas where you're in control of them, and that was what was happening. I guess John McGlashan were giving away a few penalties and also a few lost balls, as we see Manukura looking for a hole chopper there. Penalty given.
I was about to say McGlashan were about to get away with one there. I thought two of their players, their mids, were offside, but picked up very well by the sideline ref.
Yeah, and I think that's just good advantage, like giving Manukura the opportunity to try and applicate a try, but with that being shut down from those offending players, we get to come back to the penalty. As we see a little quickie play there in the middle, just trying to tighten them up.
Got to be.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the white paint on the line, so I couldn't tell you if both of those feet were on it or behind it.
I like what McGlashan are doing here. They're very strong in the ruck here. Quite a couple of plays, especially this number 9 in the middle here. He's not just touching. He's making sure he can just catch a bit of an angle, making it just a little bit harder for Manukura to get a clean ruck. And in doing so, they have survived that onslaught by Manukura.
Yeah, opportunity missed there. I really thought Manukura were going to get across the line there. A full set on the line. They looked pretty awesome at the end of that first half. Opportunity missed.
Yeah, I'd maybe like to see a bit of variation in the Manukura attack at the moment. They seem to be just running those middle channels.
Yeah, I think they're almost overbalancing their field as we try to get our winger down the sideline there, but yeah, I just think they need to centralise the attack or bring it to the right side of the 50 where they're trying to open up the field rather than bunching one side, and then when they're looking for their hole options, because of how compressed they are on the field, those holes aren't opening up for their attack.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose there. Nice little check out by John McGlashan. Not really on target. But again, you can't be angry with going coast to coast.
Yeah, good ball over the top there. Just wasn't able to go to hand, but it allowed John McGlashan the time to be able to set their defensive line. And I must say, this is a better rucking set from the Manukura team as they're coming off their line. A little bit more intent, and they get the reward.
Beautiful.
Penalty.
Ko ia tā te hia a Manukura I tēnei wā, nō reira, ka tīmata ki te hawhe, he anga whakamua te haere. Kāre kore he kimi i ngā puare, I ngā āputa, e wātea I rātou te whaipiro. But again, just real compressed in the middle there, eh?
Yeah, just losing where they are on the field a little bit. If they could come a little bit more to the centre, I think when they step back to open up the field, they'll have a little bit more opportunity to find a hole runner.
Because that's it. They just need the space when they're looking for those long passes.
I think Manukura is just another reason why they need to change their attack away from the middle is the referee, in particular the one that's on screen now, is allowing that touching player, really not extracting all 7 out of them. I don't think that
I thought so.
is having quite a big impact on the attack that Manukura can have through the middle of the field. And just as a team, you just need to adjust and understand, okay, if we're not going to get them there, we need to go elsewhere. Yep. Otherwise, they're just going to come up with the same result.
Great insight, Maya. Bit of a push there from the number 6. And as you can see, it was repaid there by Manukura, but Manukura ended up getting the short end of the stick on that one. Look, I'd be happy if I was Sam Cottier. He was the number 6 there who sort of gave that one away.
I'm pretty sure Greg's talking to him about not flopping. That's not what I'm saying he did, but I'm pretty sure it'll be something to do with that. He definitely sold that call.
Yeah, bit of a smile on the ground there from the number 8 as he realised he got the penalty. So some good referee coaching there of just making sure he stays within the spirit of the game.
Hey, I've always, it's all a part of the game, mate. You're always just trying to get the upper hand. But here we go, John McGlashan now in perfect attacking territory. Or maybe some miscommunication about what they actually wanted to do there.
Yeah, fortunate there. He was able to get the ball away because that shutting defender, the number 10 there from Manukura, was lifting quite aggressively. So it was almost a touch at dummy half as we see them trying to get that ball over the top to the link. Pilkey's going to give it. He said that ball was down before that winger made the touch.
We get to have a look at this replay here, and like you said, just opening up that spot. He hits that link coming in. I thought good call by the ref.
Refs only make good calls, Kim, also. You would have been correct there.
Great work by our referees. And that just stretches that lead out to 2. And because tries have been hard to come by, here I'm liking this by Manukura, just a bit of variation in their attack. It's probably the first 32 play I've seen them play. And the fact that they went for a 32 long, I thought that caught the John McGlashan defensive line out of spots.
Again, just running to the narrow side of the field. They just need to identify and open up as he gets caught at dummy half. May have been better to give it back to that player and then maybe run a release. Even a little bit of a 2-step variation. You know, they like to pick off the deck, so give a little bit of a 2-step variation and then maybe get a drop set off the back of that and then see what opportunity will come from that.
Bit of oomph coming in on these touches now by Manukura, which I'm liking. They need to do something, sort of shake these yards that McGlashan just are chomping up throughout this orange zone. Great extra yardies there, and they've got in this whole line offside. Can they? Oh, they can't turn it into points, though.
That was a good play on there from the referee. The Manukura player was offside. They made that first touch, and then the ball was dropped straight after. Now, a lot of referees will go back for a penalty from that stage, but the attacking player was not impeded from doing what he wanted, and the reason the ball was dropped because it was a poor pass, not because of the impact the defender had on him. So great call from the ref there.
Yep, I'm loving these. I don't want to say they sound a lot more common sense these days, these rules, but it's definitely coming from a place where I think it's only better for the game. Boy, John McGlashan again, just very disciplined on their yards. Transition was good, though they were coming from a very deep position. What that meant is they were able to come at it at good speed.
There we had the assist from the try before, just trying to create something off the back end of that set. And I think at the moment the difference in the two teams is that they're both doing not too bad on 1 and 2, 5 and 6, but it's that 3 and 4 when they're going through that middle of the field. John McGlashan just seemed to have the edge on them both defensively and offensively at the moment.
Yeah, if you look at both teams, and John McGlashan are racking it up, the players coming on from the sub-box are coming on running forward from the sub-box, whereas nearly scraped through there. Whereas the Manukura, when they're transitioning, their sub-box players, when they're entering the field, they're almost having to run back towards their own defending try line before they then turn the corner and join the play. So the effectiveness of the finishes on each of those sets is so different as a result.
I like that. Waster on the first.
I remember when I was riffing earlier on and I'd hear the sub-boxers yell out, "Waster, waster, waster." And I was thinking, what, do they mean just like waste the touch and have a rest so that we can get some players on? And I was like, but they keep doing stuff, so what do they mean by waster? And then I went home because I didn't really want to ask my brother so that he'd have something, that he knew something more than me. I was like, "Boy, what's a waster?" And he goes, "Oh, just have a quickie on the line there." I was like, yeah, no, that's what I thought too.
I knew it. I knew it.
Guess it was never a waster for Dino, though. He was always scoring something.
You don't call it a waster when it's in Dino's hands, eh?
Well, when I wasted him for all of his life on the backyard of our house, obviously.
As we see John McGlashan here getting into the end goal. Good patience there from the boy who picked it up at half to find number 13 in the corner.
Jack Timu.
And just beautiful work. And again, it's just coming off the pace in which the yardies and they're catching this defensive line all up at once, which means when that scoop is coming through, the whole Manukura side or offside and they're having to chase.
Kev, I think wingers get ripped off a lot. Like that number 30, the winger there, it looked like all he had to do was catch it and dive, but he had that space by what he did prior to getting to the ball and his body, the height of his body level and all that. I think wingers sort of get ripped off with a lot of the good they do to be in positions just like that, to be able to score easy tries, to make tries look easy that necessarily wouldn't be.
Yeah, and I guess that's the way the game's going now, is that because it's becoming more of a specialised position, it's not so much the new person in the team that's getting put out there. So we're finding the development of the wing spot, I guess, on the field. You see a lot more players, and I don't know if it's a replica of watching a lot of the NRL in the way that they're able to finish their tries, getting into the aerial or trying to shake players or anything like that. But I think just the confidence in giving something a go, and I think it starts at the grassroots level, whether it be secondary schools or module. But if you're having a go at it, then it's going to start slowly evolving into your game, and you're going to become better and better. As we see a nice right to left pass there from Manukura to try and get that number 13 from John McGlashan out of position, but good chase out. He was able to make sure that he was able to chase out and make that double touch there. As we see the sweeper come round, the number 10 here from Manukura, he's been really impressive in the second half. He's really given it a go, and we see that the player's offside, and he gets the reap of his rewards by being able to score the touchdown.
Yeah, real big difference in how that 7 metres was managed there from their ref Greg Taylor, and ensuring that the defending player got 2 feet back or on or behind the defending scoreline there, whereas as we've seen in the first half, maybe a couple of their opportunities snuffed out. Great work though by the attacker there from the Manukura.
Yeah, you could clearly see in that replay that his opposing middle was almost a whole foot offside. So great work by the referee.
And Kimmel, you talked about the golden minutes. Well, we saw this in the first half. John McGlashan, they seem to put a lot of power into their opening period. As we actually see them there, they cross for another, just as I was about to say. Manukura, at the back end of the first half were doing the same, clawing their way back. Just unfortunate, a bit of a lapse in concentration there as he tries to fold in on the short side, collapse there from the winger. Good draw and pass there, and great finish in the corner by Timu.
Hat trick for Timu today. Well done, buddy.
No, great finish, great finish. That's exactly what John McGlashan needed in the second half, because like you said, Manukura, they came back at the tail end of that first half, and you could see they were about to do that in the second half. So John McGlashan just doing enough to keep their lead. And with 2 minutes left, 3 up, you'd be feeling pretty confident. Not after that one though, with Manukura coming back with a quick reply. There is ample opportunity with 1.5 minutes to go for them to score 2 tries. And it's that same player, that number 10, Yanni Simeon Governor.
And I think that's just great awareness that the last time he was able to get a quickie, and this time they've dummied him and been able to run the follow, knowing that the defending player was going to chase out, and this is the opportunity they need. With 1:20 left on the clock, if they can get down there and get one, they are a chance. As we see them rucking over half, trying to get down to that 7-metre line. As we see, Yanni, he hasn't gone off yet. He's decided to stay on. He wants to have every opportunity to get his team back into this game. Looking for a sweep play. Bringing it out to the link, getting a 32 drop. Looking at the short side, going open. Just knocked down there by the John McGlashan player. Wasting a bit of the time on the clock. They'll want to be fast here, Manukura.
He knows it. He knows that they're 2 points ahead. They can afford to give one away, and if he can waste time in the process, he'd be happy.
Oh, and there we see it. He's done it again. Nope, they've called that the player was onside.
Both you boys being rugby players, what do you see when you see an intentional knockdown, knowing that's normally a penalty, yellow card in rugby? Which sport's got it right?
I think rugby's got it right. I think rugby's got it right in that sense. Because we know you're not allowed to do that, and I just see it as blatant cheating. Well, in rugby anyway.
4-5, only 12 seconds to go, so probably not enough time to tie it up. But a great try nonetheless, and as we said, number 10, Lani, stayed on, knew that he had the magic, and beautiful try out to the win.
And there we have it. E te whānau Manukura against John McGlashan. John McGlashan just able to hold out at the end there. Like you said, it come down to those championship minutes. Who was the fitter side? And John McGlashan. Ko rātou te tīma I puta te ihu no reira kāre kore ko rātou te kapa e puta atu ana ki ngā whiringa whai tika tū hei a pōpō hoi anō. E tuku mihi atu ana ki a koutou. Kei ngā uri o mano atu. No roto mai a Manukura. Kāre kore ka kaha noho ki ta koutou tākoro a pōpō. Hoi anō, we have one more game coming up. Kaue haere tawhiti atu e te whānau. A kua ki nei hoki mai ai mātou. Ki te toha atu I taua ke muki a koutou.